Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend of the channel, Mr. Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. Excited for this. Thanks for reaching out on the, what is it, Monday?
Yeah, Monday, Memorial Day. Thank you for all that served. We got to remember the folks that, all gave some gave all. Today's the day we think about that. So thank you for your service, Dion. I know you served. Thank you.
Today is the day where we thank the ones who didn't make it back. So I'm gonna steal your channel for like 15 seconds. And for the guys who didn't make it home, this is Sparkle Donkey, and it's a shot for you.
Thank you. That was very well done. Transitioning for something like that's hard to do, but so I'm just going to do it. It's going to be unelegant. What we're going to talk about here is something that I think is coming. If you're in real estate, you need to know about this. If you look at YouTube content around real estate, I have a warning for you. You are about to see lots and lots of data about a foreclosure crisis. And Dee and I are going to talk about it. We are not only going to look at a single data point, we are going to try to give you the full picture of the upcoming foreclosure crisis. What do you think, Dion?
I think we're going to see more and more videos that show shocking data that is virtually irrelevant.
Yeah, so let's break this down. You actually reached out to me over the weekend, sending me an example thumbnail that we are already seeing. Do you happen by chance to have that?
If you give me a chance to share the screen.
Oh, you want to share the
up.
screen? There we go. All right, I think I did.
Okay. And it's not going to let me.
No.
Yep.
That's okay.
I have no idea why.
All right. Well,
my settings won't let me do it. So
I tell you. But anyways, it's probably not unheard of, right? There was a thumbnail you saw, 417% increase in foreclosures, something to that effect.
478%.
Yeah, that one. 400 has Nancy Pelosi of all. I'm not sure why Nancy's on there, but okay.
And never once referenced in the video, just a picture for attention. It's brilliant.
Yeah, see, this is what I do wrong. Yeah, you got to do your thumbnails better, Zuber. Gosh, tell you. But let's talk about what's coming, because I do think if I step back and I realize that all of these amazing YouTube channels are focused on telling one data point instead of the full picture, I think it's fair to say that a crisis is coming. I think there's every chance that foreclosure spike 478%, and I would argue there's a chance they go up 800%. But there's more to the story, right?
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I have a video coming out Thursday.
Okay.
About the crash that we are currently in, and I'm looking forward for you and Matt to let me know what you think of it.
Awesome. I love that. Well, you know what? I actually want to tell the full story about the crisis that's coming. Because again, I want to say very clearly, I think there is every chance in the world that foreclosures will go up over 500%. And it would not shock me if foreclosures go up 1000%. I want that to settle in, because again, a lot of people on my channel probably fell out of their chair. But again, now let's tell you the whole picture. You ready?
Yep.
So let's bring up this data point. I have two pieces of data I want to share with people, but this is the first one. Can you see this now, Dion?
Yes, this is the one I like the most, because this is the one that shows us if current foreclosures were to go up 1000%, like I believe both of us agree is going to happen, that puts us back to where we were in 2015.
Yeah. So where you need to look at, folks, here is on the far right of this bar chart, and realize that we had abnormally low foreclosures in 2021, which is the base year where you will get these 500% increases. We only did 151,153 foreclosures in 2021 because they were essentially illegal, right? So when you have a channel, have a thumbnail with a scary percentage, they will be mathematically correct, but they are not telling you the full picture. The full picture is here. What do you think?
The thing that frustrates me is the crash videos get the most views. And I'm not sure if it's people like tragedy or people are looking for that excuse to not take action. Because what I would like to associate real estate with is dollar cost averaging. If there was a crash coming and you absolutely had the crystal ball and you knew it, but you don't know where the bottom is, you want to be buying all the way down. Dollar cost averaging, exactly like the stock market, has proven to be more effective than somebody who could time the market relatively successfully. So for the last 2 years, we've had people screaming for a crash and people missing out on appreciation, pay down, cash flow. So when they hear something like foreclosures are going to go up 1,000%, which we're going to start to see those numbers, I'm sure, because someone's going to look at this chart and go easily 1,000%. Those videos are going to get views and people are going to think, I should wait until we have that increase in foreclosures to find the good deals, which aren't going to be there.
Yeah, no. So again, I want to say very clearly, I think there's every chance in the world that foreclosures could spike 500%. It is because the number is coming off an artificially low base. Okay. That's only one part of the story. The other part of the story, Dion, that again, I've been doing this 20 years. I bought before, during, and after the last crash. I was buying in the foreclosure wave on the way down. What all of these, like there's a channel that's got, I think, almost 200,000 viewers that is talking about foreclosures happening at such a rate as to impact pricing this year. Dude, we are in June, for all heaven's sakes. People don't realize that the foreclosure process takes time. And oh, by the way, the foreclosure process is not equal across all states. So what I want to do now is I want to bring up a report from CoreLogic. And I want people to focus on when was the peak pain for different markets in different states, because it is, I talk median price. I talk all of these things that I have a national audience and a worldwide audience, but I want you to look at your buy box in your area. So let me bring this up. That is this one. And again, we're trying to tell the full story because again, I do think a foreclosure crisis, if defined as 500% increase, is going to happen. So Dion, this is CoreLogic. I guess I'll go to the top so people can see it and research it. This is a report that they did 10 years after the crash. United States rental foreclosure crisis 10 years later. This is all done by CoreLogic, right? CoreLogic. So I'm going to go back here. So for people, national average, the peak year of foreclosures was 2011. We had inventory of 1.5 million homes. Look at that unemployment rate. We had a peak unemployment rate of 9% nationally. Where are we today, Dion? Do you happen to know?
We're between 3 and 4%. I haven't checked this week.
Yeah, 3.6% was the last reported one. So again, we are nowhere close to this. But really what I want people to realize is just the difference where peak pain was. I'm in California. Been very clear about that. We had peak pain earlier than lots of states. There was a state, just staying on this list, Arkansas, that didn't see peak pain until 2013. So what I want people to realize is these channels that don't really know and have no experience talk about foreclosures like they're all equal. They don't happen equally. States have different laws, different rules. California 09, Colorado 10, Connecticut 12. You're in Washington, right, Dion?
Yes. Yep.
So this is alphabetical. So let's go Washington. Your peak pain was 2013, for heaven's sake. 4 years after mine.
The state that really stands out for me is Florida.
All right, let's go to Florida. I didn't even notice. F. There we are. 2010. Oh my God, look at that. 394, 10%. Ooh, crazy numbers.
Right. So I'm curious, what would have happened in Florida that made, population versus California shouldn't have been that off. Mm-hmm. And it was, what is that? Oh, double almost?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So what happened in Florida? Because again, I've been doing this a long time. I was buying back then. These were mainly what I would call condos. They were building condos left, right, and center. They all went up. They all had views of the water. They got sold, and then they went underwater and people gave them up. These are mainly condos, not single family homes.
Okay.
This is why I know about busted HOAs. Remember, everybody talks about, should I buy an HOA? And I'm like, well, you got to realize you have these special one-time assessments. If your neighbor doesn't pay their fee, blah, 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 blah. So again, Florida had a lot of pain. And again, it happens at different rates. know your buy box, know your state. So again, I think there's every chance in the world we have a foreclosure crisis in 2022. I actually think the bigger crisis, at least on a percentage basis, is 2023, because you don't even start in an NOD, notice of default, until you're 3 months behind. Then there's 3 months, now 6 months. Banks have to try to work with you to work it out before they can take you to the courthouse. Is it a court case, or is it just the whole process of foreclosure is long? And in the last crisis, it averaged over 1,000 days in some areas. Hence, you had pain take you out to 2012 instead of 2009, like California.
Well, what I'm hoping people realize is, the person watching this video right now, your job is to not worry about a housing crash, because the market, and this is your data, Mike, in the last 50 years, the largest annual drop was 8.9%.
Correct.
In a year. So a crash of 20 or 30% isn't going to happen market wide. There may be pockets that have that kind of crash. What you need to find is that one motivated seller for your next deal, whose property sits on the market long enough for them to lose confidence, to be ready for your offer to make sense. That's what we should be hunting for. That's what we look for in an up market. That's what we look for in a down market. That doesn't change. And I'm just hoping that all the crash videos don't give people that excuse to sit on the sidelines and wait.
Yes. So again, one more time, I agree. There's a foreclosure crisis coming. I think it will be larger in 2023 than 2022. It's all because of the number being historically low, 151,000. It's not there. But again, to Dion's point, your job as an investor is to find that one motivated seller. And again, lots of you today are thinking about price. I want to challenge you to think about terms. I've showed how the lumberjack could take a 20% yield to over 50% with terms. I showed Dion how he could offer list price and get a better rate or better yield. These are the time that the prepared will thrive and the uneducated will do nothing, or they will simply overpay. Do better deals. The next 2 years is going to be a great time to be an investor. Dion, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
Awesome.